Welcome to This Week in Moto News from around the world. First off, something that nobody wants to see is having your radiator blow up and give you potentially third-degree burns. I haven't heard anything differently on the fact, but listen to it.
That is like a volcano erupting. Technical issue. Watch this here. Oh, man! Oh! I tell you what.
And this was rider Arvid Lunning, and this was during the GP of Europe. So having a radiator cap blow, I mean, it begs the question as to, is there a better spot to have the radiator caps? Could you have them on the side? It would make it hard to fill. On the bottom would be really hard to fill. I don't know. Just after looking at this, it seems like we could potentially come up with something different than having them right on top. Because if you've ever opened up a radiator before when it's hot, ooh, and this just blowing up in your face is not good. But looking at who is just owning the championship is Tim Geiger with basically 1-1 scores at the GP of Europe. And good for Lucas Kunin. He went 3-3. Roman Febvre goes 2-2, and you had Maximum Renault taping up his hand pretty good. He had an interesting tape on his throttle hand, or the grip, and I wish I had, maybe this is actually the post. Yeah, which is interesting to hold on for strength wise. I thought that was interesting, having two broken bones in the hand. Something about dirt bikes, man. But hey, at least this isn't a shot on Shimoda, but he's got two hand guards, which is pretty interesting, right? Dun, dun, dun. What genre of egg is your favorite? I don't understand the question. You know, I like scrambled, right? Sunny side up. But I want to see him back so that he can start racing. And MotoGP, okay? They did not let me in for the GP of America, which is this weekend. So I'm staying home and I'm not going to Seattle, but Seattle looks like it potentially could be a mud fest, which I'm for a mud fest for Supercross, because we need to have at least one of them, right? You have a bunch of sand every weekend. Why not? Let's just have a bunch of mud. They aren't the most fun to watch, but after last weekend's Triple Crown, I'm like, yeah, it might be fun to watch a mudder for sure. And I'm somewhat digressing. So you got Marc Marquez, who's won 2 of basically undefeated for MotoGP, and his brother going second, and Bagnaia and Morbidelli, they have gone back and forth between third place finishes here. So I want to see the defending champ on his Aprilia, the Martinator. He's not back for this round. He's probably going to be back for round 4, I believe. And going to be sunny on Saturday, according to, yeah, that's what I said. But they said it's supposed to be rainy during the week. And for press day, they'll probably end up canceling press day so that they can cover the track, because it's supposed to be rainy and then pretty much rainy a good portion of Saturday, and the night show should be good. So I don't know. But again, if it's not a complete mutter, just a little bit of soft dirt, I'm good for it. I'm incredibly okay with it. And I don't know if that's going to help Sexton or not. And then you also have Haiden Deegan getting arrested, right? It's probably the biggest news that we've had here. And he was in his Audi R8 and he was doing full rotations next to some pickleball courts. And the police officer lit him up and put on sirens. And then Deegan completed another rotation before parking. And pretty much the big thing out here was that the Daily Mail reported that the arresting officer confiscated fake driver's license, not just a driver's license, but multiple driver's license, including one that had a false birth year indicating he was 21. Yeah. Party hardy, 19-year-old. You're in an Audi R8. You're worth millions of dollars. Go party, right? You know, you got the fake IDs. Good for you. Dun, dun, dun. And it also says, it should be noted that the deputy expressed to me that Haiden was respectful during the entire encounter. That is part of the reason he was not charged with having the fake IDs. That was part of the reason. Means probably the entire reason was that it's because it's Deegan. And he probably knew who he was. especially being there from Florida. So he probably got an autograph and let him off with just a warning, because that's somewhat of a big offense. That's the biggest thing that could have happened here. But good to have him back like that, even on his Instagram. If I go to his Instagram, he's got his photo of going into custody. I thought was funny. And this was also interesting, so shout out to Jason Lawrence. His motorcycle got stolen, and Racer X is sharing his GoFundMe and figured might as well share his GoFundMe. And the reason he's saying is because I'm a different dude when I don't have a dirt bike, and I don't like that dude. So I'm totally okay with justifying and helping him out. So his fundraising is on his Instagram, and he's doing pretty good. Looks like J-Law is going to get another dirt bike. At this point, dude, why don't you try to get a factory edition, right? With the GoFundMe stuff. And yeah, there's some funny comments on here as well. Debbie Dowder, Steve is saying, why don't you just get a job? And a bunch of people like it, and so I don't know. I don't know where I stand on it. It's just a bummer that he lost a motorcycle. So whatever people can do to try to help him, just because he's a legend of the sport. So you can go to his GoFundMe here. He's got a video about it. Like, hey, don't let you get down. He's bought some air tags to next time his motorcycle doesn't get stolen again. And reading some of the comments, sent home ID's comment, call him night. Yeah, probably, but I'm sure he got arrested because of the fake IDs. And then that's when they started to do interesting stuff to make sure that he doesn't stay in jail or get even more in trouble by that whole thing. But hey, Medi, looks like his motorcycles were stolen. These bikes were stolen last night in South Australia. Smashed the van and took it from his shed. Okay, so it's not his bikes, but just bummer that more people are stealing motorcycles. That's a nice little 125, or is that a 250? I can't tell. I have to look at the width of the rear tire to really tell. But bummer that motorcycles are getting stolen. And I guess pretty much the last of the deal was Ken Roczen with his separated shoulder. He finished well at Birmingham, but dude, that's hard. Separated AC joint. I couldn't do push-ups for 3 months while that thing was healing, let alone go through the whoops. So I'm sure he's going to have a bunch of cortisone shots. And this would have been a rider that I thought that he should have been ideally winning the series if he didn't have the small get together with Tristan Lane. I forget what round that was. It was like 4, I believe, but he would have made enough points to be right up there, at least second in points. And now this is meaning, like, is he just going to work for third, essentially? So that is a bummer. He has a pretty in-depth of how things went, and he basically says it just absolutely sucks about the situation. It's really stress for the weekend. So for now, just show up on the weekends and race, recover decently week to week. We'll see. But I'm pretty sure he's probably going to have pretty sore shoulder and a bunch of cortisone shots to make sure that he can get through the racing. But the Triple Crown, that's a lot of racing. It's like 20% more riding, more laps on the track. So I would assume that this weekend should be better. And honestly, if I was Kenny, I'd be hoping for a mud race, because therefore he doesn't have to do any of the jumps or anything. And then I guess last but not least, Sprocket's always in my lap when I make these videos, and just found out that this guy has got cancer. So Sprocket, dart it, dude. He's 13 years old. We're going to try to keep him around here. So anyway, till next time, guys, keep it WFO. Bra da 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 da.